Okay, before we get started, yes, I'm a Leaf fan, but I love this team as well. So I think this is my second favorite team. So let's chill on the, I thought you're from Toronto, I thought you're a Leaf fan. I am a Leaf fan, but I also really love the Rangers. I also woke up and it's freaking freezing in my place. I don't know what I've done with the air conditioning, but whatever I'm feeling, Charlie is definitely feeling 10 times worse. Little boy. What's up, everybody? So today's video is a story time. I have a bunch on this channel, like the first time I saw boobs, that big hockey scam, which was a 4-part series. I love telling them, but I only tell them if it's a good story. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Although I have seen some story times on YouTube, I'm not gonna lie. Today's story is how, well, let's see, how Disney screwed me over when I had the same manager as Ashton Kutcher. And here's how it goes. Whenever I say the word Ashton Kutcher, the name, I always go, Ashton Kutcher. It's weird, it's like he is meant to be Dutch in my head. Ashton Kutcher. So, take me back to 9th grade. What a great year. Just random boners and trying to evolve as a human being, because that's like the weird, awkward stage that you're in life. Your face is like really weird, your eyes like here, your nose is down here. Puberty is an awful thing. So back then, it was like a cool thing to be doing something with your life. So for instance, if you had like a bigger person job, like
I work at my dad's insurance firm.
Whoa, like you're going places.
that's how superficial it was in 9th grade. Because Instagram wasn't a thing back then. Snapchat didn't even exist. Nobody used Twitter, if it was even around. Social media wasn't a thing when I was in high school. So everyone was trying to stick out, and that's what high school really is everyone trying to find their own way. I'm at work one day, and I used to work at a sports store. I used to sell shoes. I used to be able to tell you about any shoe, the technology in shoes, how comfortable it is. I was like the shoe expertise. And it was a slow day one day, and we had the radio, obviously the radio was on. This ad comes on and it goes, do you dream of being on the Disney Channel? Now, just because I said that, you guys are like, oh my god, because yes, that still exists. This is also just kind of a PSA to everybody out there to not do it. Call this number, we're coming to Toronto now. Oh my god, write down the number. In my head, I'm like, this is how I'm gonna stick out. So about 2 days later, I decided to call the number. I was like pacing back and forth. I was like,
Hi, my name's Dan.
I'm like Dutch when I'm nervous.
I heard the radio ad. I want to know more details about it.
Okay, Dan, how old are you?
I'm 14 or 15, however, that age range.
What we're gonna do is you're gonna take down this email address, send me your name, phone number, and a photo attached. If you fit what we're looking for, we'll call you and discuss further.
Okay, great.
I go on my computer, like going through, trying to find a photo, and I believe I sent them this photo. And this photo is meant to represent me. Are you kidding me? Send them that one, I'm like, whatever, I'm not a model. I don't have any of these shots. Instagram, again, wasn't a thing. About 2 weeks go by, and I'm at lunch, walking into town. I get a phone call, and with all my friends. I go,
Hello.
Hi, is this Dan?
Yeah.
Hey Dan, it's Julia. You've been selected. You have an audition coming up on Thursday. We want to bring you in. We want to see if you're made out to go to the next round of this Disney search.
oh my god, this is amazing. I can now, I hang up the phone, I tell all my friends that I got an audition for Disney. Total bullshit, but at a time, again, you just say whatever you can to get by. The time comes for this next audition. In the email it said, you're gonna meet at this location. It was a hotel downtown Toronto, and make sure you bring like parental guardians that can sign off if you decide to go through further. So I get to this hotel, I walk in. I see all these kids with like perfectly barbered hair, spiked up and shit, like clearly the most cliche like Gap commercial image. And I'm in there with like my skateboarder hair, uneven, clearly not cut from the same cloth that everybody else here is. They go, Dan, Rodo. I'm like, yeah, that's me, that's me. I walk into my parents. I walk into this conference room. Now inside this conference room was 4 tables, one in each corner. So I go in and I sit down with this lady, and my parents are there too. She goes,
oh my god, you are perfect. You have those big brown eyes, you got brown hair. We represent this big name that just moved to LA, who had brown eyes, brown hair, so you could fill his spot, no problem.
Right from the get-go, these people fed me bullshit after bullshit just to kind of get my dreams and aspirations that are in my head firing off like, oh my god, Dan, this is it. She asked about experience. I say,
I can ollie, do a 50-50 grind.
AKA, I had no experience. At that age, all I cared about was Blink-182, skateboarding, and honestly seeing tits. So, unfortunately, none of those fell under experience.
Okay, no worries, no problem. We'll help you out with that, no problem. What I need you to do now, because this is a modeling and TV event, I need you to walk from one end of the room to the other in your best model way.
And in my head, I'm like, what the I'm a skateboarder teenage kid. Like, what do you mean model? I don't know. So I get from one end and I just do my little walk from one end to the other. She goes,
okay, stop. Go back. You need to pop out your chest, lift up that chin, shoulder blades back, and walk with confidence.
Oh my god, here we go.
I do my walk. She goes,
That's great. That's great. You take a seat now. Here's how much it's gonna cost.
it was ridiculous. It was like something like $600, $700.
You're gonna need headshots. And on the back of the headshot photos, you're gonna need your measurements. If you need it done, I've got somebody that does it for like $700.
In my head, I'm like,
What the? Are you kidding me? You just charged me $700 for a ticket to this event. On top of that, you want to charge me $700 for some person to take headshots of me?
she goes,
You can do that, or do you have somebody to take photos for you?
No, it's okay. I had somebody take photos for me.
no, inner Dan was like, yo,
What the f***? Who?
on that voice, I'm like, just chill, just chill. She also gave me this stack of papers, TV commercial scripts that have already aired and whatever. She goes,
You need to memorize one of these. Because you're gonna be presenting them at the actual conference.
I now have my photos, and now I need to memorize this thing. I memorized the hell out of this Fruitopia commercial, because that's what I picked. The day of the event comes, okay? And unfortunately, my parents couldn't come with me because they were doing something else, so I was going solo to this event. I get there, I get in line, I get up on stage, and I'm next. They go,
Contestant 2038.
oh god, this is me. Just go, Dan. So I start walking. I see the end of the catwalk coming up where there's all these photographers, and I'm like, oh my god.
Dan, we didn't work on this. You gotta figure out a pose by the time you get out.
And in my head, I'm like,
Don't worry, Dan. I saw a Lindsay Lohan movie once where like she was trying on clothes and she was like doing all this shit. Bust one of those out.
swear to God, this what came to my head. I'm like, you know those movies with girls when they're trying on clothing? And it's just like, no, no, no. Okay, take one of those poses when they have the dress. Do it at the end of the catwalk. This is literally how my inner self handles situations. So I get to the end, I'm like, shit. Boom, I bust a pose so bad. I had my hands in my pockets like this, just chilling like this. I flexed my arms, it's just like, I then walk off stage. I'm like, thank God that's done because I'm not like the model type, although I look like it. Okay, everybody from this age to this age, we're gonna have you guys wait in this conference room. You're gonna be doing your commercials like next. You would go to the front, there'd be this little stage, you stand on the stage, there's a whole bunch of seating with management from all around the world. I get up there and I start my Fruitopia commercial. I nail this thing, I killed it. I remember looking out of the crowd and there's this one guy and his name was Michael Katz. Now I'll never forget this name. He was a speaker earlier on in the day. He was up there saying,
You know, I represent Ashton Kutcher. I also represent Britney Spears.
this guy clearly has some pull in this industry, you want to be with him. I leave and I'm like, okay, good, I'm done for the day. Thank God. You would come back the next day to check your results. Almost like if you made a team, you would check to see if your number was on the sheet, and that meant you had a callback. So I had about 3 callbacks with just like these bigger corporations, whatever, it wasn't a big deal. I then get to Michael Katz's sheet. And he only put 4 numbers down out of hundreds of people, and I was one of the 4. I was like, my number was on here, what's good?
Listen, I think you got something special. I would really love to work with you, but you need more experience. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you my contact info, and you're gonna keep me updated, because he's like, I gotta go back to New York, so you gotta keep me updated with stuff that you're doing.
Okay, great. I actually got 1 model call back too, and I was like, what the f, what's it for? Feet? That was probably, I think that was the last time I ever heard from this guy, because when I got home, I Googled this guy's name. I go, Michael Katz on Google. Nothing. I type in his email, Michael Katz. Nothing. I put his address in. Doesn't exist. Are you f***ing kidding me right now? The guy, to this day, I've searched the internet far and wide to figure out who this guy is. No idea. Never even found a photo of this guy. I looked up Ashton Kutcher's representatives and management. Not him. This Disney experience just hired these fake ass people to come in, give speeches just to fill everybody's dreams, just so you're so thrilled to be there, and they probably just get paid and leave. I was like, no f***ing way. To be honest with you, yes, I was told that I was being picked up by Ashton Kutcher's manager. However, this guy was nobody's manager because it was fake. Everyone's trying to make money off your back in that industry, and with YouTube, you have so much control over what you do, you don't have to worry about that. But that is the story of how I got screwed by that Disney scam. If you guys enjoyed this story time, you'd like to see more, I've got a playlist on my channel which has the first time I saw boobs, which was an insane event. My first cruise, which was pretty hilarious. I got a whole bunch on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.